Hey everyone, welcome back to our course, Financial Literacy from Scratch. In the previous video, we talked about compound interest and how your money can grow over time. If you haven't seen that yet, the link will pop up in the top corner, or you can find it in the description below. Today, we're diving into a concept that's even more practical, and honestly, even more important for your day-to-day financial survival: cash flow. Now, before you think, okay, this sounds like something only accountants care about, let me stop you right there. This is not just business jargon. This is real life. Because here's the truth. You can be making good money, showing profits on paper, and still end up broke. Sounds strange. It happens all the time. And the reason is simple. People misunderstand cash flow. In this video, you'll discover what positive and negative cash flow actually mean, why profitable people can still run out of money, the critical difference between cash flow and profit, and how mastering cash flow can predict your financial stability. So grab a notebook, because this might completely change how you look at money. Part 1. What is cash flow? Explained simply. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is cash flow? Cash flow is simply the movement of money in and out of your life. Money comes in, that's your income. Money goes out, that's your expenses. The difference between the two is your cash flow. If more money comes in than goes out, you have positive cash flow. If more money goes out than comes in, you have negative cash flow. Sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Cash flow is not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. You could be earning $5,000 a month, spending $5,200, and slowly going broke, or earning $2,000 a month, spending $1,500, and actually building stability. That's the power of cash flow. It tells the real story behind your finances. Part 2. Positive versus negative cash flow. Now let's break this down a bit deeper. Positive cash flow means you're living below your means. You have money left over after covering your expenses. This leftover money can go into savings, investments, or opportunities. It gives you flexibility. It gives you control. It gives you options. Negative cash flow is the opposite. It means your lifestyle costs more than your income. And when that happens, you have to fill the gap somehow. Credit cards, loans, borrowing. At first, it might not feel like a big problem, but over time, negative cash flow creates pressure. Stress increases, debt builds up, options disappear, and eventually, even a small financial shock can cause serious damage. So the goal isn't just to earn more, the goal is to create and maintain positive cash flow. Part 3. Cash flow versus profit, the critical difference. Now here's one of the biggest misunderstandings, especially for beginners. People confuse cash flow with profit. They think, if I'm profitable, I must be financially okay. But that's not always true. Profit is what's left after subtracting expenses from income, on paper. Cash flow is what actually moves in and out of your bank account, in real time. And those two can be very different. For example, you run a business and make a sale for $1,000. On paper, that looks like profit. But what if the client pays you in 60 days? Right now, you have zero cash. But your expenses, rent, salaries, bills, still need to be paid today. That's a cash flow problem. Even though you're technically profitable, this is why many businesses fail, not because they aren't profitable, but because they run out of cash. And the same principle applies to personal finance. You might have a good income on paper, but if your money is constantly tied up in expenses, debt, or delayed payments, your cash flow suffers. Part 4. Why profitable people can still go broke. This leads us to a powerful and uncomfortable truth. Income does not equal stability. Profit does not equal security. Cash flow does. Many people increase their income and immediately increase their lifestyle. Bigger apartment, better car, more subscriptions. So even though they earn more, their expenses grow just as fast or faster. Their cash flow stays the same or becomes negative. And that's how people earning high salaries still live paycheck to paycheck. Or worse, accumulate hidden debt, because they're focused on income, not flow. Financial stability doesn't come from how much you make, it comes from how well you manage what flows through your hands. Part 5. How to improve your cash flow. So what can you actually do to improve your cash flow? Here are practical strategies. Track your money. You can't manage what you don't measure. Know exactly how much comes in and goes out every month. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Not everything you spend on adds value to your life. Cut what doesn't matter, keep what does. Create a gap. Your goal is simple: spend less than you earn. Even a small gap creates positive cash flow. Increase income strategically. Yes, earning more helps, but only if your expenses don't rise with it. Automate control. Set limits, budgets, or automatic transfers to prevent overspending. These steps aren't complicated, but they require awareness and discipline, and that's what separates financial stability from financial stress. Part 6. The psychology of cash flow. There's a strong psychological side to cash flow. Positive cash flow brings peace of mind. You feel in control of your finances. You feel prepared for unexpected expenses. You feel stable and confident about your future. This calmness allows you to make smarter decisions and plan ahead instead of reacting impulsively. Negative cash flow has the opposite effect. It creates anxiety about money. It leads to uncertainty in planning. It adds constant pressure on your choices. Over time, this stress can influence your decisions, making you react instead of plan. Mastering cash flow isn't just about money. It's about gaining control over your life and reducing stress in every area. Part 7. Common cash flow mistakes to avoid. Even with the best intentions, many people sabotage their own cash flow without realizing it. Here are some common traps to watch out for. 1. Ignoring small recurring expenses. Subscriptions, memberships, or tiny fees add up. $10 here, $15 there, and suddenly your cash flow is tighter than expected. 2. Relying on credit too much. Using credit cards or loans to cover everyday expenses can create a false sense of income. Eventually, the bills catch up, and interest drains your money. 3. Spending windfalls carelessly. Bonuses, tax refunds, or gifts often disappear immediately if you don't plan for them. Instead of boosting cash flow, they become short-lived bursts of spending. 4. Not separating personal and business finances. If you run a side hustle or small business, mixing funds can make it impossible to see your real cash flow, leading to surprises and stress. 5. Failing to plan for irregular costs, car maintenance, medical bills, annual insurance. These occasional expenses can create negative cash flow if you don't prepare in advance. Avoiding these mistakes is often more impactful than simply increasing income. Remember, cash flow is all about control. The moment you spot these pitfalls, you can fix them and keep your money flowing in the right direction. Part 8. Recap and big takeaway. So let's recap. Cash flow is the movement of money in and out. Positive cash flow means you're building stability. Negative cash flow means you're creating risk. Profit and income don't guarantee financial security. Cash flow does, and most importantly, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep and control. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you understand cash flow, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to take control of their finances. And in the next videos, we'll keep breaking down the real skills behind financial stability and long-term wealth. Until then, track your money, stay aware, and keep your cash flow positive. See you in the next video.